Welcome! My name is Danny, and in this second tutorial about the amphibian conservation needs assessment process, I'll be introducing the online version of the assessment process and showing you how to search for and view assessments. I'll also briefly show you how to register to become an assessor so you can add and edit assessments. But we'll be covering adding assessments in much more detail in our third tutorial. Since 2007, conservation needs assessments have been completed for over 3,000 amphibian species in 26 different countries or regions. Most often, these assessments have been carried out in national workshops with up to 20 participants present. The costs of holding these workshops, including all of the participants and facilitators' transport, accommodations, and food costs, have been covered by grants from a wide range of funding organizations. With conservation funding becoming more difficult to obtain in recent years, a new online conservation needs assessment program was developed in 2015, and assessments can now be undertaken online as well as in a workshop situation. Development of the online assessment program was generously supported by the European Association of Zoos and Aquaria, the Zoo and Aquarium Association, and the Association of Zoos and Aquariums. The online assessment program can be found at www.conservationneeds.org. It includes all completed amphibian assessments since 2009, with new assessments currently being added. The Conservation Needs Assessment Program is available in 3 languages: English, Spanish, and French. Using the online application, multiple assessors work independently from each other to assess the species they are most familiar with. Conservation recommendations and priorities are then automatically generated from completed assessment data. If multiple assessments exist for the same species in the same countries, they will be consolidated to give a final, single set of recommended conservation actions for each species. Scientists, field biologists and researchers, animal husbandry experts, and others are vital to the success of the conservation needs assessments. Your expertise and experience will enhance the assessments, ensuring that appropriate recommendations for national and global conservation actions are delivered where they are most needed. Amphibian experts register in the online program using a very short registration form, and this request is then reviewed and approved by a national facilitator. National facilitators are usually the national or regional amphibian specialist group chairs. This approval process ensures that all assessors have appropriate expertise, resulting in assessments and the conservation actions recommended by those assessments are the highest possible quality. All completed assessments can be viewed from the View Assessments option on the menu bar at the top of the screen. Assessments can be searched by country and/or by species name. In this example, we'll search for all assessments for frogs in the genus Mantella in Madagascar. Clicking the search button shows there are currently 14 assessments for Mantella species in Madagascar. The resulting list of assessments shows the species, along with the person who completed the assessment and the date the assessment was made. Clicking on a species name will display the selected assessment. In this case, we're looking at the assessment for golden Mantella, which was completed on February 12, 2015 by Devin Edmonds. At the top of each assessment, we provide direct links to the corresponding image library and species account from AmphibiaWeb, and the IUCN Red List assessment, and the distribution map from the IUCN Red List. These links to external databases provide quick access to find additional information about the species, which can be useful while the conservation needs assessments are being completed, and also for end users of the assessment data. Basic information for the species is shown at the top of the assessment, including the current global Red List category or threat. If a national Red List assessment has been completed, the national level of threat will also be shown. The species edge score is shown, giving an indication of how evolutionarily distinct and globally endangered they are, and importantly, the recommended conservation actions that have been generated by the Conservation Needs Assessment. There are 10 different conservation actions, and each completed assessment will include one or more action. The assessment data are then shown. Each assessment is made up of the answers to 20 questions, along with supporting documentation or additional details for each question. More information about each question can be found from the help system by clicking the corresponding question number. Each assessment can be printed, including to a PDF file, or exported to Excel. In addition to viewing species assessments, 3 reports can be generated from the Reports option on the menu bar at the top of the screen. The Facilitators and Assessors report displays a list of all registered assessors and national facilitators. The report can be filtered to include only those users with expertise in amphibians from a particular country by selecting a country from the Country drop-down and clicking the Search button. The report can also be filtered to show only assessors, only national facilitators, or all approved users by selecting the user type from the User Type drop-down and clicking the Search button. The Assessments by User report shows all assessments that have been completed by particular users. Select an assessor from the Username drop-down and click the Search button. All completed and approved assessments made by the selected assessor will be displayed. Probably the most useful report in this program is the National Recommended Conservation Actions Report. This report displays a list of all species within a selected country that have been recommended for one or more recommended conservation actions. Select a country from the Country drop-down to display species that have been assessed for that country and the recommended conservation actions for those species. Note that the Country drop-down includes only the countries that have at least one completed assessment. By default, the species are shown in priority order, with those species that have the highest priority for conservation action being at the top of the list. The recommended conservation actions, along with the number of assessments that contributed to those recommendations, are shown for each species. The default report includes species recommended for all conservation actions, but alternatively, a single conservation action can be selected from the Conservation Actions drop-down to filter the list. Click on the hyperlinked species name to see the details of a single assessment. Additional help on all aspects of the Conservation Needs Assessment process and using the online program can be found from the Help option on the menu bar at the top of the screen. The Help pages will open in a new tab or window depending on your browser. The Help system has been grouped into 9 sections, with a range of help topics available in each section. Click on one of the section headings to see the help pages available within that section. Registered assessors can add new assessments and can edit them at a later stage if they wish to. The next tutorial video for the Conservation Needs Assessments is specifically for assessors and is a complete guide to adding, editing, and managing your assessments.